Okay. Well, I'm here to tell you the story about the rise of the American mafia in Las Vegas. And I'm also going to tell the story about a syndicated travel columnist who found himself in a situation where he had to compete with the mafia in Las Vegas. And it's about his simple idea that changed how more people were able to go to Las Vegas. It made Vegas more accessible to more people. So to tell the story, we have to start in Beverly Hills, where Bugsy Siegel, an infamous American mobster, was shot, killed, dead at home. And he was killed because the mafia invested millions of dollars into his casino, and it was losing money, but more importantly, they found that he was stealing from him. So the mafia, who made an enormous investment in his casino, killed him to put the professionals into the casino. And very, very quickly, the mafia was making a lot of tax-free cash. What happened then was that the mafia all over America was seeing how much money could be made in Las Vegas, and they realized what they were doing illegally at home, they could do legally in Vegas. And there was this huge flood of talent and mobsters coming into Las Vegas. But by the 1950s, a majority of all casinos on the Vegas Strip were run by the mafia, or at least backed by the mafia. The mob money were behind it. So what happens is now you have all of these casinos, and they're trying to compete with each other of how do you get people to the tables. And they just basically use the same tactic they used in nightclubs and in speakeasies, was you hire big-name entertainers to come in, and that draws the people in. And then very quickly there as well, that the competition around Vegas, the cost of the shows got higher and higher and higher, and that by the end or the beginning of the 50s, Liberace was getting paid $50,000 a week, which is about $500,000 a week today. And at the end, in the 50s, each casino was spending about $2.5 million each. But meanwhile, this is happening in Vegas. In California, there is a syndicated travel columnist who had a very popular column. His name was Warren Bayley, but his friends called him Doc. And what Doc realized was that Americans were traveling a lot more. There was more demand for vacations. There was more demand for escape. And what he knew was we could build motels because there's going to be this demand for it. He built motels. He built the first one, very successful. He expanded. He bought 2 more. He built 2 more. And this is when a group of developers in Las Vegas, they have the casino, they've got the land, but they're missing the hotel. So they approach Warren, and they say, Warren, we'd love you to run the hotel and invest. And Warren does, under one condition. I will run the hotel because I know the business. I will not run the casino. I have no experience, and I have no interest. So unfortunately, things got very complicated very, very quickly. And the person that was running the casino couldn't get a license. And the second person that they got, he didn't have the money. He was bluffing everyone. At this point, to protect his money and to protect his investment, Doc had to take over the casino. So now Doc has got the casino, he's got the hotel, and he's also $2 million in debt. And now he has to compete with the mafia. And Doc knows he can't hire Frank Sinatra to do a show. He knows he can't afford this draw. How do you get people to the tables? Anyway, this casino was very close to the airport. And one day, while Doc was driving into work, it hit him like a ton of bricks. If most of the gamblers are coming from LA, fly them in. And then he ran the numbers. Doc was very good with numbers. And he said, we could fly them in for free. And what Doc did was he created this promotion. It was called An Evening in Vegas. And for $19.80, you can fly to Vegas. And it was enormously successful. He tweaked it a little bit. Now he's added more rooms to it. And now he's finding that families are now coming. Families to Vegas. This is a very bizarre concept at the time. It's so successful that by the end of Doc's run on this promotion, he actually owned 30 planes, and he was flying people from all over America, New York, even Hawaii, Chicago, Detroit. And what I think illustrates the success of the idea of free mobility is these 2 points. Number one, half of the people who flew to Las Vegas in 1961 flew for free. Doc flew more people into Vegas in '61 than all the airlines combined. Now, why is this important? In fact, it's enormously important because Doc fundamentally changed the way business thought about mobility. The business model in Vegas at the time was you subsidized entertainment. You gave free shows. Doc said, we'll subsidize the mobility. The mobility has a larger draw. More people love to go somewhere free than they actually like to go see Liberace. That being said, people on the flight knew that they weren't getting a free flight, but it felt good. It was good. The second thing what Doc did was he changed the way marketing was done at the time. The way it was done before was you get these big talents, you get Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, whoever it may be, and you put them on TV. And they start telling about Vegas and Vegas. What they're doing is they're selling the Vegas dream to America. And Doc sat there with a net, just swiping away at all of these people who would never have thought to go to Vegas at the time. Vegas now, because of the free mobility, became a possibility that was never there before. Free mobility gives people access. And the third thing that Doc changed was the casinos thought that the customer experience started when you stepped on the property. Doc realized that the customer experience starts when you get your free tote bag. And then you walk on the plane, and there was a piano in the plane, and they were playing music on the plane. Some flights had fashion shows. So, those 3 things. Now, the idea of free mobility hasn't died today. Where I'm from, back in New York City, there's a free bus to IKEA. And let me tell you, there are some days when you just don't want to do the same things. You'll hop on that bus and you go to IKEA. And Doc was right. I always have lunch, and I always buy something. The second thing that's happening in America is there is a app in Virginia that's giving free rides to restaurants. And what's happening there is that now people have more opportunity and more choice. They could either have the convenience of eating at home and ordering takeout, or they could have the same level of experience, a same level of convenience, but have something different and go to the restaurant. And believe me, the restaurants are happier that people are in the restaurant than doing takeout. So, we can't not mention self-driving cars. And what's happening now with self-driving cars is this. The cost in America of a taxi is $3.50 a mile. That's the average cost. It's projected that self-driving cars will be 35 cents a mile. And when that happens, all of the businesses are going to learn what Doc learned, is that it makes good business sense to give people free mobility. So, in 1962, half of the people who went to Vegas got there for free. And in the near future, half of everyone in this room will be traveling around the cities in the world for free, and the whole world is going to open up to you. Thank you.